Emotional disconnection doesn't just affect your relationship, it affects you. And sometimes you don't even realize how much it's changing you until you stop and really think about it. I've heard people say things like, I'm just tired, I don't even have the energy to talk anymore. Or things like, I just keep things to myself now. And on the surface, it sounds normal. But underneath that, something deeper is happening. Hi, I'm Dr. Jane, a counseling psychologist, and this is Life of a Nigerian Online Counselor, a space where we make sense of relationship struggles, emotional patterns, and the things people feel but don't always have the words for. In this series, we've been talking about emotional disconnection and how it affects relationships, but today we are focusing on something deeper. What emotional disconnection actually does to you, because beyond the silence, beyond the distance, there are internal shifts that happen quietly, and over time they change how you show up in your relationship and even to yourself. One of the first things that happens is you start to lose your voice. At first you try, you express yourself, you explain how you feel, but when it doesn't lead anywhere or doesn't feel received, you start to talk less. Not because you have nothing to say, but because it no longer feels worth saying. So instead of expressing, you internalize, and slowly your voice becomes quieter in the relationship. Secondly, you begin to question your needs. You start asking yourself, am I asking for too much? Maybe I should just calm down. Maybe this is just how relationships are. And without realizing it, you begin to minimize your needs. Things that used to matter start to feel like they are too much. Not because they are, but because they are not being met. Another one is that you feel lonely even when you are not alone. You're together, you talk, you function as a couple, but emotionally you feel alone. And this kind of loneliness is different. It's not about being single, it's about not feeling connected to the person you're with. It's quiet, but very heavy. Then the fourth one is you start adjusting to less. Over time, you adapt. You expect less communication, less effort, less emotional presence. Not because that's what you want, but because it's what you've gotten used to. And sometimes you start filling your life to avoid the gap. You stay busy, work, responsibilities, routines. You're always doing something. Now, on the surface, it looks like productivity. But underneath, it can just be a way of coping, because staying busy feels easier than sitting with what's missing. So over time, busyness becomes a substitute for connection. Another one is that you become emotionally guided. After feeling unseen or disappointed repeatedly, you start protecting yourself. Even when your partner tries sometimes, you hold back, not fully open, not fully expressive, because a part of you is thinking, I don't want to feel this anymore. So instead of vulnerability, you choose emotional safety. Then the sixth one I'll be talking about is the fact that you slowly disconnect from yourself. Now, this is the deeper part. When disconnection goes on for a long time, you don't just disconnect from your partner, you begin to disconnect from yourself. So you find yourself being less expressive, you don't fully process your emotions. Sometimes you are not even sure what you're feeling, you just exist. And over time, this begins to affect how you see yourself. Your confidence drops, you don't feel like yourself anymore. You may notice you are less motivated, less productive, less engaged with life than you used to be. So there's that quiet unhappiness that's hard to explain, and sometimes it can feel like you're becoming a shadow of who you used to be. Not because you're weak, but because something important in your emotional environment has been missing for a long time. And it doesn't stop there. When you're disconnected within yourself, it starts to affect how you show up with others too. Your relationships begin to feel strained or distant or less meaningful. Because when you're not fully connected to yourself, it becomes harder to connect deeply with anyone else. And then the seventh one is the fact that you may start seeking connection elsewhere. When emotional needs go unmet for a long time, the need for connection doesn't disappear. It looks for somewhere else to go. So sometimes it starts emotionally. You find yourself opening up to someone else, feeling seen or understood in ways you've been missing. And before you realize it, there's a shift. For some people, this can lead to boundaries being crossed, not always intentionally, but because they are trying to fill a gap they don't know how to address. And this is why emotional disconnection matters. Because when connection is missing in one place, the need for it doesn't disappear. It finds expression somewhere. Some people focus on their children, others work. And for many, it's the beginning of multiple affairs. Now, none of this usually happens suddenly. It's gradual, quiet, one experience at a time, until one day you realize you are no longer showing up the same way anymore. So if you're listening to this and thinking, this feels like me, I want you to know this. These changes didn't come out of nowhere. They often happen when something in your environment is not meeting you emotionally. So while it's important to understand your partner, it's also very important not to lose yourself in the process. Now, I see this a lot in therapy, and it's something we walk through, helping people reconnect with themselves, understand what they are feeling and find their voice again. If this resonates with you, you're not alone. Please feel free to like, share and subscribe if you haven't. In the next video, we'll be answering the question, can emotional connection be rebuilt or is it too late? If this spoke to you, please feel free to share with someone who might need it, and don't forget to turn on your notifications so you don't miss the next video. I'm Dr. Jane, and this is Life of a Nigerian Online Counselor.